Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Uh, I'm going to do a more educational video. I'm not at any specific location. I'm not in any iconic monument. I'm actually very comfortable at home. Hence the croaky voice. It's early in the morning. Uh, so I thought I'd make a video with some evidence I've compiled over the last uh, few weeks, maybe. Uh, so without further ado, I'll get to it. Obviously, those of you that are in the silver community would have, well, you might have not seen, but you should have seen this, or you might have seen this article about 102.5 million ounces of paper silver dumped onto the market within 7 minutes to drive the price down. Epic fail. It was a nice try for these massive banks and hedge funds trying to drive the price down because there was a significant resistance if silver held above 34 whatever, so they waited to the last minute on Friday or whenever it was in the afternoon to push the prices down, and they failed miserably. And you see the rally in silver's closed out at, where is it? Is it 35.50? So this is huge, and obviously it's no surprise these crooks are involved. JP Morgan. Uh, so who knows what's going to happen? Me personally, bring the prices down. As I said, I'm still looking to buy. I done a video a few months ago now when silver was going down to the low. It was mid 20s, whatever, and I done a video about I was looking to buy a lot of silver, but because of the fucking UK 20% VAT, I was looking into buying it in Germany and either getting it couriered back or going over there myself and shipping it back, or I don't know, flying, I don't know, driving it back. I was looking into that, and I was actually close. I wasn't far away from it. I was just waiting to save up a little bit more cash to get the position I wanted. Uh, and as ever, silver rallied, which is good. It's fine. I've got a little bit of silver, so it's rallied. That's fine. I'm happy with that. But at the same time, I would like to get back in at a lower price. Maybe I know people are thinking just buy now because it could go high. It could go to 50. It could go to 100. But I've been in this market and as I said to myself, as I said in one of my last videos, or the video before, you take all the information you get, and you take little bits of it out, but ultimately you can't let anybody tell you when to make the plunge, as they say, or press the button and buy. You need to kind of do your own education and listen to yourself. And I'm quite positive I'll get another buying opportunity to get at the prices that I've got in my head. Actually, my friend who I live with, I always said to him, as soon as silver hits 26, that's when I'm buying. And when it hit 26, $26, that was just when I was close to buying, but I looked into buying in Germany to save. I would have actually saved over £1,200 if I bought in Germany. That's just without paying VAT. £1,200, which that's about $2,000. So I would have saved a lot of money. So that's why I was looking into doing that. Instead of paying that in VAT, tax, value added tax for bloody currency, was just scandalous. So when I was kind of going to run about that, silver shot back up in the day, and I'll get another buying opportunity if there is going to be scrambles into liquidity in the near future. like if Greece defaults, there's going to be problems with Portugal, Ireland. As ever, I've done my own research, and there's going to be a scramble for the sacred dollar in the near future. Long term, no. Near term, yes. And that's always going to drive down bullion prices. So there's going to be ups and downs, and as I say, I don't get emotional about it. If silver goes to 100 tomorrow, great. If it goes to a pound tomorrow, great. Uh, I'm doing this for myself for the long term, and I want to share with you some articles. No, I'll actually go into this piece of propaganda which was in the Economist, the 14th Valentine's Day last week, a couple of weeks ago, and who's it? I'm not sure who the article's back. I can't remember who's wrote the article. Let's see, but it's just the whole propaganda of, I don't know why the mainstream media is so against gold. It's amazing. Like the Economist, which is quite a reputable magazine, they don't talk about gold a lot, but when they do, I always read to see what they got to say. And they're talking about hedging here, and it's so biased. Uh, I'll read a little bit of the article, but I won't go too much into it because it's just so biased. It's unbelievable. I can think of only two good reasons gold is valuable. Valuable, sorry. It's shiny and scarce. I reckon its popularity is a relic of the gold standard. If you think about it, other than shininess and scarcity, nothing makes gold intrinsically more valuable than dollars. Nothing makes gold intrinsically more valuable than dollars. Now, straight away, how do we get gold? It's used human labour. Well, it's been used for as money for over 5,000 years. So there in itself, it's more intrinsically valuable, more valuable than gold. Dollars have only been about couple hundred years, not long. Well, the current system has been about for 40 years, since 1971. The gold standard just over 41 years, whatever. This current monetary policy, the dollar. I'm not sure when the dollar was born, but it's been about for couple hundred years, 300 years, not long. Gold has been about for over 5,000, 6,000 years. So there in itself, it's more intrinsically valuable. How do you get gold? Gold is Gold isn't printed up. Gold is dug out the ground by human labour, by men who risk their lives going down to mines, going into deep waters, uh, using explosives, labour, slaving in the heat to get this stuff that is the most finite, well, I won't say finite, but most valuable and durable mineral known to man. You could say platinum, whatever, but gold doesn't tarnish, doesn't rust, and it's scarce. That is why it's more valuable, more valuable than dollars. Where do you get dollars? They used to print the stuff, but now they just type numbers on a keyboard. There is no effort involved. It's easy money. Banks and governments are getting high. They're crack fiends to this dollar. It's easy money. So for this person, I'll go to I don't know who his name is. If he's even put left, is actually not he's left his name here. I don't know who the article's by. Uh, it's probably in my face somewhere, but I just can't see it at the minute. That in itself makes it more intrinsically valuable, more valuable than dollars. Okay, I'll go and read this nonsense. My colleague recently pointed us to Warren Buffett's take on gold. He favours stocks over real estate because, sorry, he favours stocks or real estates because unlike land or a business, gold doesn't have much productive value. It's a store of energy. It's been used as money for 5,000 years. Yeah, it doesn't return your dividends that you get from paper stocks and 5% dividend yields and all this nonsense, but it's 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 a valuable store of wealth. Gold has went up 11 years in a row. Why? Because they're printing these valuable, intrinsically valuable dollars. Uh, as I said, like, Warren Buffett, he always says, yeah, you can put all the gold in the world and you can fit it in Wimbledon. You can look at it, but well, it's not going to give you a return in dividends. So that's why Warren Buffett doesn't hate it. Doesn't like it. Blah blah blah. Goes on and on. Uh, Gold is finite supply, and there's a history of it, of using it as currency. And there's a history. It is. He's going on to say, if like, maybe they'll be kind of used. Gold is money. Why are central banks buying it more so now than ever before since they came off the gold standard? It's often cited as a good inflation hedge. Often, it is a good inflation hedge, even if its intrinsic value is questionable. I've already answered this. Perhaps our fixation with gold as a safe haven is worth something. The thinking goes that if central banks print too much money, unleashing rampant inflation, gold will retain its value. Or imagine the mother of all tail events. If civilization collapses, we can still barter with gold. I don't have any evidence concerning whether or not gold will hold up in the latter scenario, but when it comes to the former claim, London Business School authors Elroy Downson, Paul Marsh, blah blah blah, published a report, right? I'll click on this report briefly, right? It shows gold is not always such a great hedge over the last 111 years. Uh, like straight away, the last 111 years, uh, maybe because in the last 111 years, gold is all we've had a gold backed currency. Gold has always been money, so here we go. So maybe it wasn't as good a bet to inflation because this stuff over the last 100 years was as good as gold. Oh, these people. It's actually a nice picture, that. But anyway, this goes on and on and on. I've read a couple of bits of it before I got bored, and you realise that the economists that published that article are all Keynesians. Uh, the only sensible economics that is out there is Austrian economics. Keynesians believe in government intervention. Like, if you study the Great Depression, how much Keynesianism, I can't even say the word, prolonged the Great Depression by government intervention with higher taxes and regulation and all this nonsense. But its price may be correlated with expected inflation. But if you're looking for a hedge, gold's relationship with realised inflation is what's important. Gold's real value usually does not decrease during bouts of inflation. Unbelievable. But what strikes me, other than by historical standards, how overpriced gold looks. I can't believe I'm reading this in The Economist. It's how volatile it is. In finance, volatile assets are considered risky. It's baffling that gold is considered a safe haven for anything. If an investor is looking to speculate in the commodities market, investing in gold may be a fine idea, but if you're looking for safety, inflation-linked bonds or even equity is probably a better way to go. Paper, this is telling you, when paper's failing, jump to another paper asset. It is unbelievable, and this is coming from The Economist. It is just, and this is the 4th of February 2012. Dates it now, so this is just over a week ago. I saw it a couple of weeks. It is unbelievable, unbelievable. and this is in the mainstream. This is why when you try to talk to people about buying gold, but I wouldn't say I've nearly gave up on telling people, but I've kind of took a back seat. Like my theory is, as Kiyosaki says, in the Art of War, Sun Tzu, only when the pupil is ready, the teacher will appear. If people are not interested, you cannot hammer it home. The more you hammer it into them, which I don't do anymore anyway, but in general, the more you try to tell people and educate, the more their barriers come up. So the reason I'm buying gold and silver, or silver more than gold now, is, as I said, you got to, as I said before in my previous videos, you got to understand the ratios, and you got to understand how many ounces of gold it takes to buy a share of the Dow, how many ounces of gold it takes to buy, or silver it takes to buy a barrel of oil. Yeah, a contract barrel of oil. Yeah, and how many ounces of gold it takes to buy a medium-sized home. So if you look at to this is actually a really good website, sharelinks.com, and this is what I keep my eye on. This is what I will keep my eye on when gold makes a run. As I says, I'm not going to keep gold and silver for the rest of my life and just have it. I will eventually trade it in, and when gold's overpriced, I think the housing market will be underpriced, and that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be buying property, land, real hard assets. Americans will be buying guns, guns and ammo when gold is overpriced. But food, and I'll be buying food as well. Things like that. Buy real things that are underpriced. And I think, being in the UK, if I am here when this whole thing happens, I will probably be buying property. So you look at how many ounces of gold it's going to cost you. What a price! What the latest price in the Great British Pound would take to buy gold, whatever. So the average house price of a home in Britain is about £180,000 at the minute. But what I'm going to be keeping my eye on is a gold, is a UK house price to gold ratio. I don't know what's happened there. Apologies for I don't know what's going on here. That should be bright. They're not done, but anyway, you get the idea. Right now, it takes 150 ounces of gold to buy the average house in the UK. How many ounces to buy a home in the UK? Currently, it's about 150. Back in 2000 and was it 2004, it took 700 ounces of gold to buy the average priced house in the UK. And that's all. Don't look at, as I say, don't bug your head with prices, the spot prices every day, because that's manipulated. Like, after showing you that, they manipulate the fuck out of this shit. But they can't stop the force of gold. Real hard assets. Look at that. Since 2000, basically since 2004, it is just, well, gold has gone up in value so much that the real value of these houses are going down, and it's going to go down. And look at silver, which is my main buy, which is the best, which is it is the deal of a century, silver, and I will be keeping a close eye because I'm going to be making a purchase soon. Back in 2005, it took, what is it, where are we? About 47,000 ounces of silver to buy the average size house in the UK. the average price, sorry, house in the UK. And all you need to look at is back at 1980. It cost about 1,000 ounces, and that was when silver hit. That was when the Hunt brothers, as I say, cornered the market, inverted commas. I watched Chris Dwayne's video about this, and it cost about 1,000 ounces of silver to buy the medium priced family home in the UK. And look at it now, from 10 years ago. 10 years is not a lot. 10 years is nothing. It went from it's 40, just under 40,000 ounces less to buy the same house that would have bought you that then. It is unbelievable, and I am positive it's going to go. You follow this arrow, it's going to go a lot lower. It's going to go a lot lower than that because the world wasn't sick in debt back in the 1980s, 1970, 90. So it's going to go a lot lower. I think it's going to. Mike Maloney's always said, and I think Mike Maloney's one of the best guys out there. He's very subtle in but when he does speak, people listen, and he does, like a lot of analysts, he does actually have the evidence and research to back it up. He's not 100% right about everything, but when it comes to research and mathematics, he's pretty much been spot on every time. And he actually called when Silva was 40, before Silva went down to 26, he actually called that. He said there's going to be a unbelievable buying opportunity. He doesn't say too much. He doesn't give prediction prices like where it's going to drop to. Fair enough. He does say silver should be X amount, gold should be $10,000 when you mark up M1, M2, M3 money, which is fine. But and he says it will cost 500. You should to buy the average size price home is when this ratio hits 500. It takes 500 ounces to buy uh, the average price home in America or whatever. So I'm going to be watching these charts. As I said, something to keep an eye out on. Shelllinks.com, you can see it there. So this is what you should keep your eye on. And like this, gives you London. You can look at London, Westminster. Also, going to cost you more ounces to buy. Right now, it costs you 700 or sorry, Westminster is going to cost you 3,500, 4,000 ounces, and it kind of adds up. And obviously, if you go to different regions of the UK, it's going to cost you a lot less. Look at that. The northeast, where it's pretty poor, you're like Newcastle, and you can get houses for very cheap at the minute. Where was this? Oh, sorry, gold. That's what I saw there for a second. Gold, 100 ounces, and get your house in the northeast of England where property prices are a million times more cheaper. And silver, there was silver. It's going to cost you about 5,000 ounces, whatever, give or take. And it's a really good measure of value. UK long term, and obviously you can just say where is it? You can actually look at the American prices as well. Yeah, you can look at American prices. I'll try and see if I can find the American chart. Sorry, go back. Where are we? Try and do this quickly to speed up time. Trust me, that is. You can look at American. I might do it quickly just to. US economic perspective. You got all the basic charts here. I can't see what it is. I've seen it before because I have looked at it somewhere. quickly, so we can move on to the next thing. Anyway, trust me, that obviously it's a .com site, so you can look at US house price measures as well. It's one of the things that starts to annoy you. It's probably down here somewhere, I just can't see it. I can't find it, but there is the option somewhere to look at the American charts as well. But as I can't find it at the minute, I think I'll move on. Right, the next story I want to cover, when we talk about this whole what's going on globally and things like that, and this, I'll say it from the outset, this comes back to 9/11. Britain's getting extradited to America with no evidence to face trial. How's it come to this? I'll play the story. I'll play this quickly, so I'll have to read Sally.
Later this morning, Christopher Tappin will leave behind his wife Elaine, his family and all he's familiar with here at home in Kent, to be handed over to US Marshals and taken to America to face charges that he illegally exported weapon parts to Iran. The 65-year-old retired businessman says he's the innocent victim of a sting by US agents, but every attempt he's made to avoid extradition has failed.
I don't know what's going to happen. I've been told horrendous stories, and I do worry about it. Of course I do, and I don't know, what more I can say. I'm just absolutely petrified.
Mr. Tappin is being extradited under a treaty between the US and Britain, which means the American prosecutors can demand a suspect is handed over without the evidence ever being tested in a British court.
We have an extradition treaty, as you know, between us, and there are certain laws and procedures to be followed. They have been followed in this case. The gravamen of the complaint is based in U.S. law, and that's where he will be tried.
Christopher Tappin's lawyer, Karen Todner, says her client has a stark choice: admit to an offence he says he didn't commit, or fight a lengthy court battle to prove his innocence.
He'll be in a federal prison, which is different to a state prison, but he will be in general population, so that there'll be no special area for him or anything like that, and he'll basically be in a dormitory of about 400 men, all facing serious criminal charges. He will not be in a low category prison because as a foreigner he's automatically declared a flight risk.
Mr. Tappin is not the first Briton to be caught up in the US extradition treaty. High-profile cases, including that of Gary McKinnon, wanted by the States for allegedly hacking into military computers, are still being fought.
As it is, a terrorist in this country has more rights than I have. I was born in this country. I'm a taxpayer in this country. Why aren't you looking after me? I need your protection. It's the one time in my life that I need your protection, and yet you let me go into a brutal system which I don't know if I'll ever survive.
David Bowden, Sky News.
How has it come to this? And he's actually already arrived in Texas, I think.
Well, I think it's going to be devastating for him. I think it'll be...
Anyway. It all goes back to 9/11. If 9/11 never happened, would America, the empire, have this power to just arrest anyone on this globe without evidence? Just play no evidence, but you're getting tried in a federal in a court and being put in a house in a federal prison with no bail. It is unbelievable. So I'm doing these videos exposing these motherfuckers so they can just arrest me and extradite me to America with no charge, no evidence. How has it come to this? Is this real? And this is obviously linked to the whole Iran Contra affair. This guy, you can watch it. You can just type in Iran Contra affair on YouTube. This guy, Oliver North, came into the public spotlight as a result of participation in the Iran Contra affair as a political scandal in the late 1980s, in which he claimed partial responsibility for the sale of weapons via intermediaries to Iran. So what's the difference? Oh, maybe I'm not saying this guy is innocent, but people don't have any rights. But whereas this guy's getting sent to America to get put in jail, a pensioner for the rest of his life, which the British government has no control. Where is it? The British government can't intervene. I don't know what it says. They have no power. They've signed a treaty. There's nothing David Cameron can do. There's nothing anyone can do. What is it? He was extradited under the controversial treaty. Signed off 2003, 2 years after the Twin Towers fell. 2 years. By both US and UK governments, which allow American prosecutors to demand British suspects are handed over without their cases ever being tested in a British court. It is unbelievable. He could face up to 35 years in jail. There's actually a comment from one of the politicians. But there's actually nothing David Cameron or anybody could do. It is amazing. So whereas this guy is going to jail, I would urge you to watch, type that on YouTube, the whole Iran Contra affair, and watch this guy's testimony, where he blatantly admits like just all this undercover and espionage that went on. It is unbelievable. And clandestine operations that went on. And this guy is chilling in Iraq in 2007. It is amazing. As I says, it is unbelievable. This guy's just chilling. Even though they basically admitted selling all these arms to Iran, but there's always got to be a fall guy. It's just mental. Now, quickly to point about the economy. Tesco, this is official, Tesco are now offering a job, which is JSA, which is Job Seekers Allowance plus expenses. So welfare money for Americans. We call it Job Seekers Allowance. If you're seeking work, out of work, and you're seeking, you get paid £80 every 2 weeks. So you get that. They don't give you that. You have that GSA, and they give you expenses to get the bus and the train to come and slave. This is 9th of February 2012. This was official, and there was Twitter exploded when this was released. This is official. This is what it's come to. But as I say, let it happen. Let the free market work. It's a scandal, but it's a disgrace why it's come to this. But at the same time, let the free market work. It is unbelievable what this country's come to. It's unbelievable what Britain has come to. But my way of dealing with it all the madness, all the emotion, all the sadness, all the stress, all the bullshit. Lauryn Hill's got a great song out in her album Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That woman is amazing, I must say. Like, she is just a goddess, that woman. Not that I worship, I'm an anthropologist, that I worship, but she is a special human being. I encourage you to buy her album Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, or watch her MTV Unplugged on YouTube. Nothing really matters. She is an aura. She is just she's a prophecy, Lauryn Hill. She's a prophet. Honestly, she is. But I've just started meditation, just to kind of make sense or not make sense of this crazy world we live in right now. Just to kind of take a back seat and just chill out, you know. And only when you meditate, you find answers, and you can come out of this matrix that we live in, because that's what you do. It is a matrix that we live in, and you can eventually reach a higher self. So I'm new to meditation and the whole spirituality kind of conscious movement that's going on. But the more I research and become enlightened, if you really break down religions, if you really pick the bones out religions, all religion is meditation, and it's often been interpreted. Like, there's actually, if you read the Bible, which I've not read at school, but Jesus Christ went missing from the age of 12 to the age of 33. There's nothing about Jesus from the age of 12 to the age of 33. And apparently the story is he actually went to India on a pilgrimage. If you go to India, there's shrines of Jesus Christ, and he came back to literally teach the word of God, a higher self. Not, yeah, he calls it the Father, whatever, can be misinterpreted, and fear and all this, but pray. All prayer is prayer. What's the difference? Prayer is meditation. So I feel I'm starting to find answers. So, as I say, with all the emotion that goes on, if you're enlightened and you're open, it can't affect you. Peace out.